All right, next step, we want to drain the oil. So just remove your oil filter right here. Okay, let that drain. Then we will go underneath and remove the 14mm bolt at the bottom of the oil pan. All right, if you guys have noticed before, I removed this motor mount and I removed the motor mount on the bottom. The reason I've done that is so that I can move this engine up and down almost 12 inches. Let me show you. Gives you a lot more room. Look at how much more access I have. So now I can get to the top part of these timing cover bolts. I already got the 4 down, or the 6 from beneath. Now I can get these ones out and work on that. So if you move this motor mount now, like way before, you can get access to all these pulleys and stuff. It's just a lot more room. Okay, you'll notice that it looks a little different under here. I've taken off this bottom motor mount bracket so that I can access these 4 8mm bolts. I already removed them. That's the next step. And then we're going to lower it down, and I'm just going to set it on the old motor mount so that it has somewhere for it to rest. All right, now that I've got all the bolts removed, ones out of the oil pan are removed, all the timing cover, there's also one inside here at 8mm, don't forget that one. I'm just going to hit it with the rubber hammer and just break it loose. Okay, I want to just take a little putty knife, break the seal down here on the bottom of the timing cover where it connects to your oil pan. Okay, and if it doesn't break loose, just grab yourself that putty knife, just kind of wedge it in there a little bit so you can kind of work it around a little, kind of tug on it, because you still got to break that gasket. These are just basically RTV sealant, so just got to kind of play with it. You want to make sure that you spray down on those alignment pins. There's one over here, and then there's one right here. Just some liquid wrench to kind of help break that loose. Okay, we've been working on it for just a few minutes. Got a little pry bar in here and just kind of pry it on it, just real gingerly. And then all you gotta do is just kind of work it out. Where it gets stuck is on those little alignment pins. Okay, as you're pulling it out, just make sure that nothing's in the way and your chain doesn't get caught. Okay, and so then there's that. That's all there is to it. All right, next step over on this side, we're going to remove the EGR valve. We have a cable right here that we've removed. It's also got a clip right here. You want to remove that and then just pull these out because we're going to clean that out. Next step, we're going to remove these 2 connectors. Get those out of the way. All right, now we're going to start working on the intake manifold. We have 13mm bolts. I believe there are 5 on the top. There's actually 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom, so you have a total of 8. So I'm going to remove those now, and we can slide this intake manifold back. All right, after fighting for this thing for about a half an hour, I realized there's one extra bolt down here, and you kind of have to have this socket to get to it. This is a bendable ratchet, and I've got a 3-inch and a 6-inch on a 13mm. Now that I got that out, I can just slide the intake manifold back. All right, I've removed the 13mm bolts for the exhaust manifold, and this just pulls out. I've already removed it. You can see it's free from the head. Okay, now I've got to remove the timing chain, so I'll take it down there. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my tensioner. The maximum limit is 70 thousandths, and it looks like we are at 49 or 46, so we are good. Check it one more time just to make sure. Okay, and we are at 45.8. Okay, so we have plenty on that, so we're not going to replace the timing chain. Okay, if you notice there, I wired the gear to the chain. I did the same thing down here. Now I'm going to remove the tensioner and just 2 10mm bolts, and we'll have this removed. All right, now we're just going to remove the tensioner. And there you go. All right, I'm going to take a little 4mm Allen wrench, put it right in that hole. I'm going to take my 15mm and break that loose. All right, now that I got the bolt broke loose, I'll just remove it there. Remove my Allen wrench, And this should just pop right down. And I'm just gonna set it right there. All right, the moment of truth. We have 10 13mm bolts all the way around the head. So we're gonna start on the corner. We're gonna go to this corner, this corner, this corner, then one in, then this one, and then I'll work our way towards the center. And we're gonna turn a quarter of a turn. All right, we got it all loose. Just gonna pull it up. Free and clear. So we can see where all the coolant jacks are and all the oil jacks. These are the bolts that bolt the head down. These are the coolant jacks. Okay, so we're gonna go over to the car. All right, we found the problem. If you look right here, you can see it's swollen right here. Now this one, if I touch it, it's like perfectly flat. See how this one was wobbly back and forth? Okay, if you look at it from this angle, you could definitely see how this is swollen. The new one's completely flat. And if we flip it over, you can see right here where it's swollen. Now this isn't cracked, but most of them cracked, but this one was just a really small hairline fracture, but you can see how warped that is. Okay, so that's definitely our problem. So here's our new head gasket. So we match it up, put them both side by side, and you can see where the cracks are, where it's swollen right here, and this one here is completely flat. So anyway, new gasket, old gasket. So, and then here's the head. Head looks real good. Just kind of wiped it down. We're gonna clean it up and then we'll install it tomorrow. And then over here to the engine. We inspected the engine, there's no cracks. Everything looks good in there. There was a little bit of antifreeze in this cylinder and a little bit in this cylinder, and then there was some right on top of here, but not very much. Most of it seemed like it was leaking between the gasket here. So, all right, that's it. All right, so pretty much done here. We're gonna put the car back together, but we're not gonna film all that. As long as you know how to take it apart, that's really what matters. So this took me almost 12 hours, but you gotta remember I was also filming and doing all the editing, and that always takes longer. I think probably actual hands-on time, it took me about 8 hours, I would say, to pull the head, inspect it, and then it probably won't take that long to put it back together because I've never done a Saturn before. So anyway, that's pretty much it for tonight's video. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. And there'll be some links down below to some different sites for the coolant flush, timing, firing order, and also Rich Pin. He was the one that I got the videos from. He got a two-part video on how to do a Saturn head gasket. So you can also watch his stuff too and follow up with this video. So anyway, we'll talk to you next time.